Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And once again, to this lesson, Lord willing, to be exhorting and edifying unto the elect. And the Spirit's been on me, to go into, some more exhorting style lessons. Often I try to go into the headlines, right, the news headlines of what's going on in the world, as majority of those play directly into prophecy. So it's important to stay up to date, stay on the watchtower. But Salakia, drivers will be drivers. But in this lesson, what I wanted to deal with is something that we've spoken about before, but dealing with patience, right? But patience and faith, because with the Heavenly Father, right, with Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, literally, and this is things that we've experienced. I speak for myself, Haran as well, and I'm sure other brothers have gone through it. But you could have a problem or an issue or something you've been facing or dealing with, you've been dealing with for years, right, for a very long time, and you may have been praying about it over and over and over again, right, asking the Lord, beseeching the Lord for help, and for years it seems like it's the Lord will answer intermediate prayers, right? Prayers in between. You may ask for something else, he'll give you that. You may ask for this, he'll give you that. But it's just one thing that you keep asking for, whether it's something you want, you need, or something you're praying for the Lord to take out of your life, or give you a solution to. Maybe a solution to a problem, or maybe a blessing that you're looking for. But you may go a long period of time where you don't get it, and then suddenly, right? Suddenly, just like that. In usually when we deal with, as humans, when we deal with problems that are long lasting, right? You've been dealing with it for a long time. It's you tend to start to think that the solution is also going to have to be something super major, right? Or it's going to take a long time, because the longer a problem lasts, you assume that it must be a big problem, or a problem that doesn't have a solution, or has a really complicated or a long solution, because if it had a simple and small solution, why hasn't it been solved? So you may think that, but with the Lord, it's not that way, because in less than a day, in a few seconds, and literally the Lord can just use 1 second. And I'm not speaking figuratively. I'm saying the Lord can use 1 second to fix a problem that you've been having for years, whether it's by an idea He puts into your head, or a comment you hear somebody say, an ad you see, a video you watch, something that gives you everything you need, that fire starter to go ahead and get that solution that you're looking for. But it's all a process. Sometimes the Lord is working on it, or sometimes He's working on you, because you can't handle the truth. That's a joke. But you might not be ready for the solution. You look at that 144. Hey, that's the Spirit. Yeah, 144. You might not be ready for the solution that you think you're ready for, that you're asking for. It's not time. And something that I think about is the miracles that Yahweh Shai performed. When Yahweh Shai performed those miracles, right, there was I believe it was Yahweh Shai, so many miracles, I'm trying to remember this, but I think it might have been a woman who was, I think it said that she was bound by Satan, roughly paraphrasing. Basically, she was bent over, right? She had to walk with that over bent back. She couldn't stand up straight for years. And then Yahweh Shai healed her, and she was loosed. That's what He said. Right, and then I think He gave the example of likening it to loosing your ass, that's been say tied to some stand or something, if I'm remembering correctly. But I do remember that He healed her. There was also the woman who had the issue of blood. Was it 12 years or so? That's a long time to be dealing with such an infirmity, right? But in all it took, once again, a second, right? All it took was for her to touch the Lord's garment. And boom, that was it. She touched the garment and she was healed. So the Lord, He still deals that way, except right now it's not It's not with such explicit theatrical miracles like it was back then, but the Lord answers prayers because those miracles are still a form of the Lord, blessing or answering a prayer, right? It just looks differently. So when you have situations, you have troubles, this is the whole point of this lesson is centered around, I believe it's in Philippians, either Philippians or Ephesians, where the Apostle Paul mentions, be careful for nothing, right? But in everything, with supplication and thanksgiving, make your request known unto the Lord. But just let the Lord know and have faith. And the word careful doesn't mean go and be careless. The word careful there means don't stress or fret, right? Don't be losing your mind and losing what little bit of hair you got left. That's a joke. But that's to represent stressing out over something, right? Don't go and do that, because all you have to do is just let the Lord know. Let your cares be known unto the Lord, and He'll go on ahead and He'll handle it for you. That's it. End of story. And so understanding that all it takes is it can even be less than a second for the Lord to fix even even your greatest problems. You just that's why you depend on the Lord. Nobody can deliver you like the Lord can. So keep that in mind. No matter what you're going through, understand that in our minds things seem bigger than they are. And I'll give you an example. If you have children, it's funny how many. Anyway, look. If you have children, that's it. 144 again. Same car. Came back to you. If you have oh shoot, Ziklag. What the hell? On the left is 144. On the right is the license plate that says Ziklag. I forgot where. That name sounds familiar. I forgot where it's from though. But anyway, if you have children, sometimes your child, or if you're around kids, you'll notice that they complain or they cry or they make a big deal, a big fuss out of nothing, right? Even women do that. But it's like they'll come crying to you, they're bawling their eyes out, their nose is dripping with snot, and they can't even get the words out. And you ask her, like, yo, what's going on? Like, what happened? You think it is something major happened, or they may scream really loudly, and then they start crying. So you rush up in there, whoa, what's going on? And they're talking about, a ladybug flew onto their toy, and now it's on their toy, and they're crying. You're like, man, you're like, I thought this was like I thought something major happened. A ladybug flew on your toy, but it's a big deal for them. That's why they're crying so loudly. That's why they're losing their minds. They're like, I like my toy. I can't play with my toy anymore because the ladybug is on here, and I'm scared of the ladybug. But you looking at it like, yo, give me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go up there, you might even just get there, and you don't even got to touch the ladybug. It's just going to fly away. And that's it. So I gave that example to highlight that just as easy and simple as it is in your perspective, like you could literally do that at any point in time. You can take a trip to Alaska and come back and still be able to just get that ladybug off there and it's gone. That's how easy and simple it is. You don't need to go and take a loan from a bank or think about some complicated plan and all this to fix that problem. It's a very simple thing for you. You could do it in your sleep. Just, exhale hard enough and you solve that problem. That's how it is when we bring our problems to the Lord, and we in our minds, well, oh my gosh, that was a Lord this, oh my God, and He's just like, yo, relax. That's usually that. Sometimes you get mad at the child if they're still making a big deal out of it, and it's like, yo, calm down, relax. First off, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a problem. Just calm down, stop crying, okay? Because you're about to fix the solution for them. You're about to fix the problem for them. You're about to give them a solution. So that's how the Lord operates. It's nothing. All right. Get that. That's one thing that we need to stress very, very, very importantly, right? Nothing is impossible with the Lord. Nothing. For you, it seems like a big deal. For you, it seems like it's impossible. Look, the Lord Yahushua brought people back from the dead. Think about that. And He defeated death. So what do you think in this life is too much for the Lord? That we cry unto the Lord as though we're in a problem that's like unsolvable. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh no. The scriptures say that the temptation, nothing is roughly paraphrasing, this temptation is not one that is uncommon to man. These things we go through is common to man. All right. And we're in the most blessed position because we know Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We actually know the God we serve. Think about this. We may not have the things that the people in this world have, but we have something more, something greater. Because what the people in this world have is exactly that. What is in this world. What we have is eternal. What we have survives ages. It survives time. It survives existence itself. And that's the connection with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai from the foundation of the world, of creation. So you sometimes when you're caught up in your life situation, the things you're going through, take a step back. Look at the bigger picture and understand that the Heavenly Father is above it all. The truth, this ministry we're involved in is above it all. Okay? The knowledge we have is above it all. This is all temporary. We've been through this before in a different age, in a different lifetime. And you may have been through worse things in a different lifetime, but guess what? You still here. And the one thing that has remained constant is our fear of the Lord. We're still back again serving the Lord. That's what matters, because that's what lasts. Keep that in mind. When you do your lessons, when you're reading, when you're tempted to do wickedness, keep that in mind, that what really matters and what has a lasting impact is what you do as Superman, not as Clark Kent. Okay? And you get what I mean. Like the real you, the real life. Being a servant of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that comes first. And that is what matters. That's why in the book of Revelation, it says that their works do follow them. Okay? This is the most important thing. And we're in the best position possible. We may not have the riches of this world, but so what? The riches of this world can't buy you life. Proverbs 11 and what's that for? Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivereth from death. The riches of this world can't buy you life. In the book of Job, I believe it's the 28th chapter, it mentions that there's so many things that man has created to find and seek out and search out new things, but nobody knows the way to wisdom, because it's not on the earth. You can ask hell and the gates of hell. You can ask the depths of the ocean. They'll tell you they don't know where it's from. They don't know where to get it. And guess what? It's with us. The one of the most valuable things that nobody can actually go and find and receive, it's with us. It's in us. The Lord has blessed us with that. So when people act up and the Lord takes the spirit away from them and they fall out, they don't realize how much they've actually lost. To have had it at one point, and because of neglect, because of not cherishing it enough, the Lord took it away from you. Bro, that's like one of the worst things you can have. It's like, imagine having a woman, right? And you lose her, not because, not because she was bad or because you were poor or because it was some circumstance that you couldn't help, but you lose her because of you, because you were incompetent, because you were careless, because you didn't care enough for her. If you lose her for a reason like that, like, okay, maybe you lost her because her parents disapproved, or there was a misunderstanding, or it was a long distance situation. You can fix that. You might be able to fix that, get around it. But if you lose her and in her mind she's like, it's because you didn't care enough for her, or you didn't treat her right, she's gonna remember that, because that reason is still gonna be there. He didn't treat you right. So if you go back, what's gonna change? Right? But if it was, once again, let's say a long distance situation, okay, well, just close the distance. Yeah, if opportunity presents itself, that can fix things, that could change things. So likewise with wisdom, if you lose wisdom because you didn't appreciate it or you didn't use it, you're not getting it back. Wisdom ain't gonna come back to you, because she's gonna remember how you treated her when you had her. And that was, like you didn't care. Okay? So always keep that in mind, that what we've been blessed with, what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has blessed us with, is far above anything, man. And there's no problem, there's no situation, there's no stress that is too much for the Lord. Okay? He's the one who brings it upon us. And we have the solution. Remember, to all the problems you have, we already have the solution. Okay? Or at least a means to obtain it. And that's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Always remember that. Okay? Always remember that. No matter how big of a deal it is, you lose a loved one, you get caught cheating, whatever the case is that you're doing, you find yourself in a pregnancy scare, or whatever it is. Your child is unwell. None of those. Remember the ladybug example. Okay, Even if you got to say it to yourself, it's a ladybug. It's a ladybug. It's a ladybug. Just remember that. As big of a deal as it seems to you, it's a ladybug to the Lord. So understand that all it comes down to is the Lord just saying, "I know what, I got you. I'm just give the go ahead." So just pray and have faith, because there's nothing impossible with the God that we serve. And very, very soon, he's about to let it be known by magnifying his power, and to show the entire world, like, this is the God that we serve, and we are his servants. And there is no way around that. No if, no ands, no buts, just point blank, period. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying and exhorting to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.